Hey guys, Coolbell53 here, Coolbell53. This is for my new channel, NJ Bass Pro, and I'm going to be talking to you guys about the spawn and the post-spawn that's coming up, or spring. Now, during spring, the bass will be coming out of hibernation, and the fall, a lot of people call it, and they're hungry. They came from a long winter rest doing nothing, and they're gonna want to eat. And this is when the big females lay their eggs, like 4 or 5 pounds. Now the spawn's probably the best time you can try to catch your big personal best bass. I'm thinking about deja vu here. If I said this in my winter bass fishing video, this is on my other channel, Coolbell53. But and if you noticed, to my right side of me, to you guys left, have a bunch of assorted baits here that are good to throw during spawn. I'm going to be talking about each one and how to work them. Now spawn bass could be the big females. They're going to be in the beginning, like the spawn, the pre-spawn, the males are going to be guarding nests. No, actually no, the females are going to be at the nest laying their eggs, and the big females, 5 or 6 pounders. Now what you want to find when you're looking for spawning bass: holes, big logs, laydowns. All these places produce big bass. Under docks, and that's usually where bass aim to spawn at. And a bunch of random lures here. I'm just going to be showing you. And I have a couple other lures I don't have with me. First, this is like Airman Little Crawl. Big, small crawls work really good during the spring, because it looks like a little crawl invading their nest, about to eat some of the eggs. So these big females will come up and just gulp it. They don't. Sometimes they do it for hunger, but very rarely they'll just come up to it, and they'll do it for protection of themselves. They'll eat the crawl and swim away and spit it back somewhere else, or they'll just eat it and they'll just engulf it, and that's when you want to do a good hook set on them. And the big females, they're fat, they're full of eggs, and they usually have a big meal. So little crawls are the best thing. You pitch them, flip them right into where the egg is. Also, another good place to look for spawning bass are seawalls and coves, and they're all sitting in these areas looking for crawfish. So little crawls, this is a 3/4 ounce Gary Moore crawl. One of the recommended baits. Next recommended bait I recommend is a jig. Now when you have jigs, basically want to work them like a crawl. You want to pitch them and flip them right to where you want to go, and you want to work it like crawfish. This is a shad color or crappie color one right here, so you just want to go ahead and bounce it over the bottom. And these big bass are going to be looking for this jig, and they're going to be engulfing it. And you see this hook point right here. Just go right into them. And they have jigs. It's one of the best things to throw in the winter, spring, and fall. Summer not really, but you know what? Very, very good bait. Especially for the spawn. These big mama bass are just looking for it. Alright, next. This is more of a spring lure, but sometimes you can use it during the spawn. This is a spinnerbait. Now I'll probably recognize it right away as soon as I pull it up the blades. Spinnerbaits, basically, they come from Willow, Colorado, triple blade, you know. You have them Willow, Colorado, single Colorado, single Willow, and triple, you know. Colorados are good for displacing water very quickly. And Willow basically is supposed to represent a shad. In Colorado, I don't have a Colorado blade up here, but Colorado are the big round circle ones, and they're supposed to kind of recognize like the panfish. So whatever it is, Just always think about it. Usually the shad color, usually the willows are good in the rivers, and the Colorado blades are good in the lakes and ponds and stuff. So this will be a really good river bait to throw. And very good to hover right over the net, just like a little bait fish. And these big mama bass, guys, I went to some lakes and caught 20 bass in a day, all up to 1 pound, unfortunately. They were not very big. And they just strike these things with such ferocity. It's amazing. So spinnerbait's definitely a must in the spring. Sometimes in the spawn, but next, you want a big worm. This is a trick worm. I believe it's 7 inches. Don't correct me if I'm wrong. Well, I'm not a big Zoom trick worm fan. Just have them lying around the house. Basically, Zoom trick worms, you can bounce them right over the nests. These big bass, they love put a jig on head on there, and they just see that and they think the worm's eating their eggs. They'll swim right up to it, go fit. Also mentioned, it's another good winter bait. So I'm not gonna go too much into this. It's a good summer, winter, fall, spring bait. So trick worm bait is good all year long. So there you go. Next, a tube. I really don't fish tubes a lot, but this is a Gets It tube. This is brown, black flake, and what you want to do with these is you want to flip and pitch them just like any other baits, and you're perfectly fine with that. Bass recognize this as a crawfish or a little goby moving around their nest. They'll swim up to it, once again eat it. This is actually a pretty big tube. Let me show you compared to the trick worm. So that's probably a good 5-inch tube right there. So that's a pretty big tube. They usually come 3-inch, 4-inch for bass. This is the big tube. Alright, next we got our fun lures here. Alright, we got kind of our creature baits. Lizards. When you're fishing with lizards, the reason why they're so good, and is a 6-inch Zoom lizard, chartreuse, black flake. Besides they're so good, you can float them right over the nests with a tungsten weight and just make it go to the bottom. Bass come by, eats it. Do a good hook set with them. They're pretty good topwater lures if you're fishing in the summer. A lot of people are like, oh, Zoom lizards or Carolina rig bait, they're not for well, guys, naturally lizards, this has nothing to do with spring or post spawn, but naturally lizards, they don't go underwater and swim around underwater. They're up on top of the water, swimming over the weeds and stuff. That's why I think this would be a good top of the lure, the lizard. I don't know why people haven't mentioned that at all, but so yeah, the lizard, really good spawn bait. Good for pitching and flipping, and just swimming it right over the nest with the big male bass. They're so ferocious on protecting their eggs, will just come out of nowhere and just eat it. So, we got 2 more baits. These are both havoc baits. First, the crawl fatty. Crawl fatty's a huge crawl. Look at this compared to the little kid and the little crawl. That thing. It's like its father. Very tiny crawl compared to this crawl fatty. Crawl fatty is a very wide bait and a big bait. This bait's meant to let you cut it in half. This is what I call a multi-purpose bait. Never heard of Fishing All Day 31. I'm gonna get right to him with big boy baits too. Fishing All Day 31, he says he has these all-purpose baits. This is what you call an all-purpose bait. Cut it in half, use this as a jig trailer, use it whole as a whole bait. There you go. And that's your all-purpose lure. Perfect for pitching and flipping. I believe this is 4 inches. So yeah, very good bait. Definitely recommend it for the post spawn as well.
Jada, don't touch the heater controller. Well, I don't know if you did, but somebody put the air conditioner.
You got your, sorry about that, my dad is down there. Then you got your Havoc pit bosses. Now, pit balls basically, it's another version of the Sweep Heaver, but I'm not going to get into the Sweep Heaver right now. Sweep Heaver is also an awesome way to post spawn, but what you want to do with these post spawn baits, post spawn's most about pitching and flipping and trying to get your baits over the nest to make it look like, for the male bass you can throw a rattle trap right over the baits and they'll hit it and slam them. The male bass you really don't want to catch. They're not very big. They're not going to really, they're just ferocious. Usually the male bass range from 2 to 4 pounds, and they're very, 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 very ferocious. I mean, they slam their lures with ferocity. That's why you can throw a topwater lure by the nest and they'll hit it. Sometimes if you're actually waiting in the water over a nest, they're not going to swim off very fast. They're going to come up to you and bump you in the legs. Actually, what was I going to say? The female bass can range from 3 to 8 pounds when they're nesting, and that's huge. So that's why you want a good bait, big baits. So the females are not going to eat. They protect their eggs a little bit, but that's if it really gets in their way and it really irritates them. So they have, I mean, fall faggot, pit boss is definitely the way to go. Alright, so sorry for the long video, but you know what, just want to get you guys, it's right around the corner. Got the spawn coming up very, 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 very shortly. For us, it's about 2 months away. Approximately 2 months away, so we're very, very, very close to the spawn. And yeah, see you guys soon, bye. NJ Bass Pro.